The agenda point for this meeting is the status and the situation around the dismissal of the workers at St. Martin Cable TV and the predicament of the subscribers of said company. This request, or the request for this meeting, actually goes back to February the 1st, 2018. It is document number 309 of the previous parliamentary year. This meeting was requested before the current composition of Parliament took office. Going over to the agenda point, it is a continuation of the meeting which started coincidentally on February the 5th, 2018. And at that time, the Interim Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunication, Mr. Cornelius Van Yu de Weaver, gave a presentation on this particular topic, and members of Parliament were then given the opportunity to pose their questions to the Minister. The meeting was then adjourned to allow the Minister and his support staff time to prepare the answers to the questions posed. In the meantime, based on several requests that we have pending at Parliament from a previous composition, a previous Parliament, we looked at the need and asked, in as far as that was possible, the persons who requested these meetings in the past, whether the need for such was still there, the need for a discussion on the topic, because we have had, for example, that the topics have surfaced in other meetings of Parliament. If I take, to give you an example, the airport, we had older requests for meetings. However, new requests came in, meetings have been held on the topic. In this particular case, however, it was felt that the need to receive information from the government on the matter of the St. Martin Cable TV is still very much there. There were outstanding questions to be answered, and the Prime Minister, as the one representing TLEM's company in the Council of Ministers, is here today to firstly respond to the questions that were outstanding. And I hope and I am convinced that the Prime Minister, with the support that is here today, will also be able to give us a status report on the current situation with respect to St. Martin Cable TV, like the request wanted to have when it was posed on the employees as well as the subscribers of this company now under the auspices of TLM. So with that explanation, I want to turn the floor over to the Prime Minister, Minister of General Affairs, for her introduction as well as answers to the questions. Prime Minister, you have the floor.
Madam Chair, I'm here today with one of my policy advisors, Mr. Rodney Richardson, the management of TLM, to give elucidation on the status and situation around the dismissal of the workers at the St. Martin Cable TV and the predicament of the subscribers as described in the topic. This meeting, as you stated, is a continuation of a meeting called over a year ago under another administration in Parliament. So it is here now today, and I'm in this position now just to give the answers with the management of the TLM. So if I can go right into the questions at the time from MP Heerlings. Madam Chair, I'm getting a feedback on this mic. Yeah. I'll just turn it away. It's too far. All right, thank you. The first question from MP Heerlings. How did the purchase come about? What was the intention for the acquisition, expansion of the network just later on to a strip the company and deal with the staff after? That was the question. The answer, when the company came up for sale, the managing board made the decision to try to purchase it. The supervisory board was presented with the option and the reasons and gave the managing board the approval to start due diligence negotiations. The due diligence was done by experts in the field, which was a valuation of entire company and especially the areas TLM was interested in. B, when deciding to purchase the company, it was the intention to purchase for the following reasons. 1, the use of underground pipes to execute the fiber to home project, blowing fiber through existing pipes so as not to have to trench. 2, to keep a competitor out of the market. If a large internet provider or telco was able to buy the company, they would be able to enter the market and provide internet access and VoIP calls cheaply until Telem loses enough market share, then goes bankrupt and then raise prices. And thirdly, to utilize the existing coax network for high-speed data in specific areas for a short period while we execute the fiber-to-home project. And C, Telem requested to purchase only the assets of St. Martin Teleview Services NV, but the seller refused even after we offered to give the previous owner extra cash to pay out the employees. The sale could only be considered if the entire operation was bought. Second question, how was the sale conducted? See above for initial process. After the due diligence was completed, a sale and purchase agreement was agreed upon and signed by the St. Martin Telecommunication Holding Company, NV, who transferred at a later date the acquired shares to St. Martin Telephone Company. Question 3. Was there ever legal counsel involved on the purchase, and who was legal counsel? The entire process was guided by several experts in the field of transitions and acquisitions, including lawyers. The legal counsel leading the process was HBN Law Office. Was the Supervisory Board of Directors involved in the decision-making? The Supervisory Board of Directors was fully aware of the interest in cable TV from the beginning, and the reasons for the proposed purchase has been discussed extensively. Approval from the Supervisory Board of Directors was requested and granted at every step. Was the shareholder involved with the purchase? If so, how? The shareholder was informed of the intended acquisition and did not object against the acquisition. Was there an approval from the minister, and was BTP involved in this approval as required by law? Answer, once the sale was finalized, Caribbean Teleview Services NV required the Minister of TEAT by letter on October 7, 2016 to transfer the licenses for cable network and for television to Telem. A copy of the letter was sent to BTP. Was the purchase of St. Martin Cable TV a part of the business model of Telem? Answer, with the tongue twister again, degradation of revenue from voice-related telecom services over the past years, Telem was obligated to find other sources for revenue. Many telecom service providers are offering television as an additional service content next to its voice and internet to increase ARPU. I guess, Kendall, you will.
ARPU. That's
abbreviation?
It's your income level per customer.
Okay, income level per customer, ARPU. Telem is not different and was planning to get into television services even if the purchase of cable TVs was not available. Hence, the reason for requesting the approval of the transfer to Telem of licenses for cable network and television, machtiging from the minister and BTP. Were there discussions with the unions regarding the purchase? If so, were there agreements? The purchase of cable TV prior to the actual share transfer is outside the purview of the union. The union and staff were informed of the purchase and welcomed this strategic move. Once the purchase was finalized, the union was approached to discuss a way forward for their members. What were the particular roles that the members of the Executive Managing Board had in the acquisition? Answer, the Managing Board performed the due diligence and coordinated the negotiations together with 2 Supervisory Board members who were part of the negotiation team. The negotiation team advised the Supervisory Board and sought the necessary approvals for the purchase. Question, was it ever the intention of Telem to incorporate the workers of St. Martin Cable TV into the acquisition? If not, why can they now not be? Answer, From the due diligence done on St. Martin Cable TV, it was evident that the company, its liquidity and solvability position was not good, and that the company was making losses that could not be turned around. Even if the financial standing of the company was better, there were still many redundant positions that would not be incorporated in Talem Group. From preliminary information, Talem realized that only some of the technical department services would be required and only a temporary basis on the fiber to the home becomes available.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Refusal of doctor cards of civil servants, teachers, PP card holders has to be prevented. Very much concerned, we decided to inform U.S. press and through you the public of the following issue brought to our attention. 2 weeks ago, we received a complaint of a teacher. This teacher was very much in distraught because from staff from SZV, the teacher received information now in January that as long as government does not pay SZV, the teachers will not receive a reimbursement of some medical bills paid by the teachers abroad and declared since December last year. The teacher started to worry even more when the home physician told the teacher that the following consultations have to be paid in cash because the doctor cards of the government workers will not be accepted anymore because government owes the healthcare providers for months now. As Consumer Coalition, based on this complaint from this teacher, we immediately sent an email to the management of SZV to inquire if the information received from the teacher was correct. Until today, we have not received an answer or an update yet from SZV management, nor has the customer of SZV been contacted by them to address her reimbursement. It was the management of SZV that 2 weeks ago in a press release said that they had an open door policy. Well, apparently the door is closed at this time. As Consumer Coalition, we also sent an email to the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor requesting his attention and urgent mediation to resolve any payment issue between government and SZV for the medical care of civil servants and teachers if there exists such a problem. Until today, no response from the Minister of VSR. As Consumers Coalition, we also ask for urgent meeting with the platform of healthcare providers to get first-hand information from them concerning the issue of not being paid by SZV and government for medical care to civil servants and teachers, and if refusals of the doctor card can be prevented or postponed. We think that healthcare providers should be paid what is owed to them based on services rendered. With the liquidity support received from the Netherlands, why the healthcare providers cannot be paid yet? We publicly appeal to the Minister of General Affairs, who is responsible for personal affairs, and thus also to guarantee continuity of medical care services for its employees. Also, the PP card holders might be affected if the doctor card will be refused by the healthcare providers. We therefore publicly appeal to the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, who is responsible to guarantee the continuity of medical care for the PP card holders. And last but not least, we appeal to the Minister of Finance to release the necessary funding for the payment of healthcare providers for services rendered to civil servants, teachers, and PP card holders. By the way, was it not the Minister of Finance that just a few weeks ago announced that the government revenues were higher than expected? In other words, why cannot this money pay the bills declared by the healthcare providers? So once more, we publicly appeal to the Honorable Minister of General Affairs, Mrs. Leona Marlin Romeo, and the Honorable Minister of VSA, Mr. Emily, and the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. Perry Halings, to do what they have to do to prevent at all costs the refusal of doctor cards of the civil servants, teachers, and PP card holders. We would also like to encourage the groups that are encountering this problem to please report it to the Consumers Foundation.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds. and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices, the Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
Looking back at where you're coming from to now, where would you say the airport stands?
I mean, I am quite proud of the project management team. I'm quite proud of the management team as well, the managing board group, I should say as well, because this has not been easy. You know, you get a lot of chatter and chatter from the outside, you know, looking in, and we get that. That is expected, but the hard-working team that you see at the airport, they never stopped. You know, since Hurricane Irma and Maria, I remember coming down here and there was a group of persons who were in uniform. And then when you spoke to them, they're telling you that, you know, they lost this and they lost that to the hurricane, and they're still in uniform. So I say all of that again, and I'm going to continue to reiterate that, because I've said that before in media, to let the population know that we are SXM, you know. We are the forces that are down here every day, that is down here every day, and working tirelessly to make sure that the airport is up and running, no matter what state it's in, from the makeshift tents to the pavilions, which were fully air conditioned and so forth. And then now we're moved back into the building before the target deadline in December. And then to celebrate with you guys for our 75th anniversary the other day, while moving back into the building. So, I mean, we don't get involved in all the politics and the rhetoric out there. We just stay focused. And these are some hardworking people down here in security. You know, you don't see the people over in finance or statistics or down in quality assurance. You know, I'm going to get in trouble, air traffic controllers and so forth. But these are the many people who are very much so working hard. I can't forget my operation team, because the communications department is housed there right now. So it's not really so normal as you stated in your question, but we're making it work. You know, we're very much so scattered. You have the sub offices off premises, and you have some people, you know, return back to the building. But I mean, it's our duty just to make sure that we keep moving forward.
What we do realize is the fact that the departure hall has been extended from downstairs to upstairs now. How comfortable is it for persons living or coming into St. Martin?
It's very comfortable. We are actually getting a lot of feedback. And just to correct you, we've moved to downstairs on the ground level only. And the passengers and so forth, whether local or international, they're coming towards the customer service agents, and they're saying, you know, we're just happy to be out of the pavilions and out of the makeshift tent. We're happy to actually be back into the building. And, you know, I'm sure the employees feel the same way too, being able to work under these conditions in a really fully air-conditioned place where you're more comfortable. You know, now you have complaints that it's too cold, but that's a good complaint. It beats being too hot. But I mean, I think it's safe to say that, you know, the feedback from everyone, even online, because I deal as communications, I deal a lot with the comments that you receive via social media and the private messaging and so. And they're saying, you know, we feel more comfortable coming through. We're getting to eat and relax. They're even waiting outside with our food trucks and getting to spend longer time with their families, you know. So the feedback has been good so far from that aspect.
We have been seeing an increase of the return of airlines. Which is your most busiest day of the week?
The busiest days of the week would always be the weekends. Saturdays and Sundays is just a favorite for passengers to want to travel. I'm sure when you book, you're probably trying to go out on the weekends as well. So you always find that, you know, the operations team, the manager on duty, everybody, they have their work really cut out for them on weekends. So you'll always find that. During the week, we have some busy peaks as well, but midweek. But the weekends will always surpass all the busiest time periods. So if you can book throughout the week as well. But you know, people prefer weekends.
New Orleans have been reintroduced to St. Martin. Which is the latest?
I know for sure coming up, and I'm very happy to say on Valentine's Day, we have the JetBlue flight that's coming in, flying from Fort Lauderdale, will commence on February 14th. I know the manager, Shelly Ann, she's quite busy with her team trying to make sure everything is the way it should be. I'm happy to announce that we have a delegation from St. Martin, which includes definitely our COO, Michel Hyman. He's going to be flying in from the Fort Lauderdale to St. Martin on that first flight on February 14th, Valentine's Day, along with Mei Ling Chan and some of her team from the St. Martin Tourist Office. I know the Minister, Stuart Johnson, is supposed to be there as well. So they're coming in on that first flight from Fort Lauderdale. And we're going to have a little short, setup for them with some speeches. And so the media will be invited so that everybody can get a chance to see. We'll be going live, of course, via Facebook, Instagram, and so everybody can get to see that flight coming in. Because it's a big thing for the island overall.
Obviously, there are still some challenges, Audrey. When is this entire process projected to at least end?
Okay, I've been told that 2020, that should be the target deadline. No specific date, but 2020 is what we're gunning for as far as the completion of the entire Princess Juliana International Airport, getting it back where it should be.